Well, after years of collecting watches and buying watches that I liked and buying what I found interesting, what I could afford, sometimes saving up some money to buy a watch, I ended up with a whole bunch of watches. And this is something that I'm sure happens to a lot of us. We try and sell watches. We sell some of them we keep for different reasons. But then it becomes a challenge or a struggle on which watch are you going to wear. And then you start noticing, well, I got all these watches. I never wear them. I need to start wearing them. I need to, you know, find the occasion or wear them, put them in a rotation. And it ends up becoming a struggle on what watch to wear. What am I going to wear today? And I haven't worn this watch. So finally, I decided I'm just going to have the 5 watches that I wear the most. And I'm going to keep all the other watches, but I'm not going to fool myself anymore. I already realized these are just watches that I have there for as a, I don't know what to call it, maybe as a something kept away, or as a, maybe this would be really a collection, but these are not watches that I really wear. They're not really expensive. They don't have a lot of monetary value, but it's just watches that I like, that I bought at some point, that I keep. But I don't hassle anymore, or I don't worry about when am I going to wear it. I just convince myself that these watches are just saved for one reason or another. I got them put away, but they're not watches I'm trying to wear. And that has really made my watch collecting, or my love for watches, a lot easier, because now the watches that I have in this box are the watches that I wear on a daily basis. Today I'm wearing another watch. This is my birth year watch. This is a Seiko. I'm going to show you guys some of these watches right now. This is a watch that's from my birth year and month. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus. And it's just a Seiko 5. It's got a pretty interesting story. When my daughter was 10 years old, she wore it to school one day, and she fell down and she cracked the crystal. My dad's a watchmaker, and we have plenty of these plastic crystals in the shop, and I'm sure I'd have no problem replacing it. But it's a memory that I have when my daughter was 10 years old and she wore this watch to school, and she came home all nervous about being worried that she had broken my watch. She knows that I love watches, that I spend money on watches, and she doesn't know the difference from a Seiko to a Rolex, so she thought it was like a really expensive watch. And it may not be a really expensive watch, but it's got some value to me because it's my birth year and month. So this watch has been basically ticking or alive as long as I have. So it's just an interesting watch to have. It's not a watch that I wear. I'm just wearing it today so I can keep these 5 here. Now, I'm going to go over some of the watches that I have. I have a lot of watches. I have more watches. I got rid of some watches. An uncle of mine started a pawn shop a couple of weeks ago, and I took some watches down to him so he can sell. But I still have a lot of watches, but it's a lot easier now that I don't have to worry about wearing these watches. But I still want to keep them. There's still something I like. There's still something I want to collect. It's like the guy that has 40 knives, or a chef that has a collection of knives. They're not going to use all the knives. They probably only use 1 or 2 all the time, but there's things that you want to keep. I don't know if it's hoarding or it's just something interesting that we keep. There's times that I come home and I start looking at all the watches, and I just like it. And another thing that happens is these watches here that I have here, they're keeping me now from buying watches, because now I consider my 5 watches in this box the watches that I wear. But once in a while, I want to wear something different, something unique, or something that's not very common. These watches here are pretty common, but there's a reason why they have such a following, and then why people really like them, because they're really nice. So now let's get to some of the watches that I don't wear, but I do have. And I want to start with this Noblia. This is a quartz. I think this is a really nice watch, 2-tone. It is a diver's watch. I don't know, the camera's having a hard time finding it. It is a diver's watch. It has a bezel. It is a quartz. I don't really wear it. As you can see, it's still got the sticker. I do have the original bracelet to it. It's just a watch I like to keep. It is I think a 200 meter. So this is a diver's watch with a screw-on crown. I think it's a nice dress watch that's actually a diver's watch. Then I have this Jules Racine, which seems to be like a world time. It has a screw-on crown also. I haven't used it in a long, long time, so it's not a watch that I ever wear, but it's I like the colors. I like the box or the square design. and it's just a nice watch to have. One of the problems that we face is, if I ever wanted to sell this watch, I haven't found any information. Haven't found another watch online. How much is it worth? What was it worth to anybody? So I don't even worry about trying to sell it. I just keep it as part of my watches that I collect. I have this Caraval Diver 666, the Devil Diver they call it, on the original Tropic, 19 millimeter Tropic. That's a really nice watch. Then I have this Seiko. I really like Seikos. I really like Seiko chronographs. This is what they call those Polk, Seiko Polk. It's pretty beat up. It's. I think it's actually an ugly watch. Honestly, I don't really wear it, but I don't want to sell it. I like keeping it. I like having it. Don't ask me why. I like having it, even if I'll probably never wear it. It's a little Gruen. I see these watches a lot. These watches I find a lot everywhere. They're just 34 millimeter Gruens, and I think they just defined a time, an era when a simple watch was just a simple watch, and I think this is just a perfect little watch. I mean, if I was in school and I had to draw a watch, I would probably draw this right here. It's just a perfect little watch. This is I've used this watch for work many years. It's a Citizen Echo Drive chronograph. I wore it a lot. I'm not really wearing it because I have watches that I like better now than I have this Seiko Presage. It's like a wannabe diver. Bezel doesn't move. It's not really a water resistant. Doesn't have a screw-on crown, but if I ever called the watch a beater, this would probably be a beater. If I was ever welding or doing something like that, this may be the watch I wear. Now, this is part of the watches that I have. I'm going to move these over because I'm going to show you guys a few more watches before I get to the 5 watches that I wear the most. And the reason I'm showing these watches is it's because I kind of want to give you guys a feeling of why I wear the watches that I wear, why I like those watches, and compare them to some of the watches that I do already have. So let's look at the other set of watches that I have. And these I got in a kind of a cheap box, but they're still, you can. So I have a video on this watch. This is my what is it? Tag Heuer Carrera. This is a watch that I really don't like, but my wife won't let me sell it, so it's her favorite. So I kind of have to keep it. This is a Squally. I think it's a 300 meter water resistant. It is a GMT. I have no use for GMTs. For some reason, I keep this watch. I don't even know why. The thing that I like about it and at the same time hate about it is that it looks so much like the Rolex Pepsi, but it's not. So it's a little different, but it's just really close to it. It's got the ceramic bezel and all that. So I keep it. I don't really wear it. If I ever wore a GMT, when I travel, I don't care about what time it is where I'm, because I only travel for vacation. I never travel for business. So I don't have a function for a GMT. And if it's an emergency, it doesn't matter what time it is. I'm going to call people if I have to. So I don't have use for a GMT, but I just keep it. Then I have this CMEX. This is a Valjoux 7750. It's a really interesting watch. There was a time that I said I'll never get rid of this watch, and now I don't even wear it. But it's a big watch. I think it's 44 millimeters. It's an olive green dial with yellow subdials. I really like it. I don't wear it. Honestly, I don't. But once in a while, I may feel like wearing something like that, and I'll wear that. Now, this little watch I really, really, really love. This is a Omega. They call this the bark dial, because I don't know if you'll see it on the dial. It's got some like silver barked. That's what they call this dial, and it's a really nice manual wind Omega. Then I do have a Rolex They just this is a really interesting 1958. It's got a uh, turn engine bezel, and then it's got a roulette date wheel, which means that the dates are the odds are black and the evens are red. I think the reason I keep this Datejust is people always when people know that you collect watches, the first thing they want to know is, do you have a Rolex? How many Rolexes do you have? Or they'll even tell you, well, one day you'll be able to afford a Rolex. And I do like Rolexes. I'm not gonna say I don't, but for different reasons. Not so much the price. This watch is honestly, it's a classic. It's a Datejust. I mean, it's a watch that you want to have if you collect watches, but it's not a watch that I would wear a lot. Compared to the watches that I have in my box, it just didn't fit in there. I've had it for years. I hardly ever wear it, but I don't want to get rid of it for the same reasons. Then I have this Doxa. This is a really cool diver's watch, the Doxa, and it's the Aqualung, and it's I think what do they call it, the U.S. divers. So it's really interesting. It's a pretty cool piece. It's a really big watch too. I think these are 300 meter. It's a nice watch, but I just don't wear it. I don't have any occasions to wear this watch. I wore this Seiko for a long time as a work watch. I think this is called the Land Turtle. Only thing I didn't really like about this one is the bezel is only a compass. So I never found an insert that I could turn this bezel into like a regular timer bezel. Then I've had this watch for a long time. This watch I'll probably never get rid of. This is my Seiko SKX, but this is the American version for the US. So it's an amazing watch. This watch I do wear once in a while. And I mean, it's not the value of it. I did change the I changed the bezel to this coin something, and I did put a sapphire crystal on it. Same thing I did to this one. I put a sapphire crystal on the Seiko Turtle. It's 1983, and this is a beautiful watch too. I just don't wear it that much. I don't have too many occasions, or compared to the watches in the box that I have over here, there's not too many times I would wear this watch, but I do keep it. Now I do have this other chronograph. This is the Porsche design. And honestly, it's a beautiful watch. It's got a Valjoux 7750 in it. I just don't wear chronographs that much. So it's another watch that I don't want to get rid of. I don't know why. I keep it. And don't ask me why I keep these watches. I think the word is hoarding or collecting, but I think there's a thin line between those two. Now, we're going to get to the watches that I wear the most, or that I actually wear. These are this thing's backwards. This box my wife gave me on Father's Day. I think she got it at Marshall's. And it's not a very fancy box, but it's really nice, and it's good for the 5 watches that I wear. And like I said before, I ended up keeping these 5 watches. These are every morning when I get up, it's going to be one of these 5 watches that I'll wear once in a while. Like right now, I'm wearing this thing for because I want to keep these watches together. Once in a while, I'll wear one of the other watches. But when I get up in the morning and I'm going to go anywhere or do anything I'm going to do, it's going to be one of these 5 watches, because these are the 5 watches that I really like, that I think, to my lifestyle and to what I really like, what fits my wrist better, these are the watches that'll top any of the other watches. Now, let's start with this watch. This is one of the work watches that I wear. And this is, of course, everybody knows it, Seiko Monster, first generation. I do have the original bracelet to this, the metal bracelet, but I wear it on this canvas. I like this one because it's a 20 millimeter. All my other Seikos are 22s, my other divers. This one's a 20, and this is a great work watch. And even though it's a big watch, and you guys all know it's a big watch, but it's not a really long watch. So I have a 7-inch wrist. I have no issue wearing this Seiko Monster. It's a watch that I really, really like. I use it to work a lot. This is one of my work watches, and I love it. So when I get up in the morning, I'm gonna go to work. What I do is I'm a maintenance supervisor, so I do apartment maintenance, and actually right now I do townhouses. So when I get up in the morning and I go to work, which is 5 days out of the week or sometimes 6, it's gonna be either this watch or this watch that I'm gonna be wearing. And this here is the Hamilton automatic. It's 38 millimeter. I think it's 150 meter or 200 meter water resistant. It does not have a screw-on crown. It is an automatic. I think it's got an 80-hour power reserve. And this is one of the watches that I wear to work. I do have a really, really beat up small titanium Seiko that I keep in my truck. So I do a lot of air conditioner work, and if I'm going to be messing with refrigerants, which are oils, and I'm sticking my hands into units or anything that's plumbing, I will put on that other watch, because these are still watches that, even though they're work watches, I try to maintain them the best I can. I don't want to really tear them up. I don't want to get refrigerants on this strap or the other strap. So these are the 2 watches that I will wear during the week. So these are my work watches, and these, to me, these top any of the other watches that I have. So I'm really happy with these watches. I don't even think about the other watches when I'm going to work, because it's going to be one of these 2. It used to be, for a long time, it used to be this. Where is it? The Citizen Echo Drive. Oh, this one. It used to be this one for a long, long time. But I think I just like mechanical watches better, so I got over that pretty fast. Now, on the weekends, my favorite watches to wear, it's either going to be the Black Bay 58, which is, everybody knows it. I've got a video on it. It could be the Black Bay 58 or this Omega Railmaster. I think it's from the 90s or early 2000s, which is also an automatic. It's going to be these 2 watches on the weekend. And anything I do, if I go to the mall with my daughters, if I'm going out somewhere, or anything I do, it's usually going to be one of those 2 watches, either the Omega or the Tudor. The Seiko, the Rolex, they just didn't fit. I don't really wear it. It's a 36 millimeter. I have no problem with a 36 millimeter watch. Matter of fact, I do like the size. These are both 39s. And these are the watches that I wear most weekends. Saturdays, Sundays, whatever I'm doing. Even if I'm going to the pool, or if I'm going wherever I'm going to meet friends or family, it's going to be one of these 2 watches that I really, really, really enjoy. Now, the 5th watch is really, really interesting. This is a Longines, 18 karat. Now, for a long time, I was looking for a Cartier, and I really wanted one, but I found this watch. This is 18 karat. It is a quartz, but it's a really thin watch. I did put this alligator strap on it. And this is just a beautiful, beautiful dress watch. Now, I don't really dress up for too many occasions. This is not a watch that goes to a lot of fancy dinners or expensive places. But I think that a good dress watch, even for somebody that never really dresses up or goes out to too many places, I think a good dress watch always looks nice with a shirt, even with a dress shirt. When you roll up your sleeves a little bit. I think that a dress watch like this watch is just a watch that I really, really enjoy. And I'll wear it on Sundays, and I'll wear it on evenings when I come home from work and we're going somewhere and I want to put a shirt on. And I like this watch. Nobody knows what it is. Nobody knows it's a gold watch. I know it's an 18 karat gold watch. It's really interesting. There's only 10 of these watches. I sent Longines an email, trying to find out some information on the watch. They replied to me that they didn't really tell me much, but they did ask me to send some pictures, so I had to open up the watch. And this watch is only 1 out of 10. It's not number 1, but it's there's only 10 made, and this is one of them. So it's really, really an interesting watch. I really love it. I like the design. I like that it's a square watch with a round dial. So I really, really think this is an elegant watch. But more than elegant, I think it's more of a. I'm in my 40s now. I have two daughters, and I think that puts you in a certain place in life where you can wear a watch like this. I'm sure anybody can wear it, especially if somebody's got power or money or an important position. I may not have any of those, but I am a dad. I am somebody in my mid 40s, and I have two daughters, and I think that puts me in a position where I can wear a watch like this. And I know that anybody can wear it. If you're 18 and this is the only watch you wear, that's fine. But I feel very confident with this watch. I feel that if I go somewhere and my daughters are with me, my wife, and I'm not really dressed up, but I really feel really confident. I really like this watch. Now that's the reason that I have these 5 watches. That's how I see them. If a Rolex Datejust may be more prestigious than a Longines, maybe. But to me, this Longines is the watch that identifies more with me, or that I identify with, that I can wear, that I like. Nobody knows it's a gold watch. I know it's a gold watch. It just looks like a simple watch, but me knowing that what I'm wearing, I really love it. Any of these watches here, the Black Bay 58, I know everybody's saying the 54 is better. Maybe it is, but not to me. I like the 2 things that I really love about this watch is the red triangle and the big crown. That's the 2 things that I really love about this watch. Other than that, it's a lot like a Rolex Submariner, 39 millimeters, just a little bit smaller. But the 2 things that I really love about it, unfortunately, the other one, the smaller one, doesn't have it. Now my Omega, it's just a really simple watch. There's nothing to it, but I think it's beautiful. And my 2 work watches, I think for what I do, these 2 watches are perfect for me. And they're both mechanical. They're 2 watches that I really enjoy wearing. If I ever find somebody that knows watches or collects watches and I'm wearing either of these, I think that they know what I have. And going to different places and stores, and anybody that collects watches, we're always looking at other people's watches. And we do see, oh, he's got a nice watch. He's got a nice Seiko. He's got a nice Tudor or Datejust or Submariner or anything like that. Anyways, that's my video. I know it's kind of long, but I just wanted to explain to you guys why I kept the 5 watches that are my watches that I wear, and all the other watches are, I don't know what to call it, hoarding or collecting, but they're there. So once in a while I wear them, but these are my main 5 watches.